Hello and welcome to this podcast on the use of the Microsoft Word equation editor. In this second podcast, what we're going to do is we're going to look at entering some of the more complex symbols that you actually might meet in your studies. So to start off with, I'm going to show you how to enter the equation that you see here. On this occasion, I'm just going to enter everything using keyboard shortcuts. So if you can remember from the previous podcast, what we can actually do, we can open up the Microsoft Word equation editor by pressing the Alt plus equals key together. So the equation editor is already open here, and we're now going to enter the equation W equals delta E subscript K equals half mv squared minus half mu squared. I'm going to do this entirely using keyboard shortcuts. So the first part, the W, is very straightforward. Then you've got equals. Now we want to enter the Greek letter delta. This is actually the capital delta that we want to enter here. And there's a keyboard shortcut to do that. So we just insert the / and then I'm going to type delta with a capital D. So if I start the word with a capital D, Word will actually enter the Greek symbol delta with in its capital version. If I start it with a lowercase d, the delta will be entered in its lowercase version. So we've got delta, and if I press space you can see that is rendered correctly. Then we've got E subscript K. So if you remember the underscore followed by the K, put subscript K, just press space, gives me that. Now I'm going to enter half mv squared. To enter half, well, half is just a fraction, so it's 1 divided by 2. Press the space, renders it a half. And then we've got mv, and to enter a superscript, we need the little hat symbol above the 6, which means shift, and then pressing the 6 key gives us our little hat symbol here, and pressing the 2 gives us the squared. So that's the first part of the equation done. Now just press minus a half mu squared, and you can see that has been completely rendered correctly. So the important thing here is learning some of the shortcut commands in Microsoft Word. So if I click on the design in the equation editor, we see all the tools that we can actually use in the equation editor here. If you come along to the very left hand side, you'll see there's a very small arrow key here. And if we click on this, we can actually see equation options. This is very valuable because you can actually alter the default font for math regions, but there's very limited choice there, as you can see. And what we've got here is what we call math autocorrect. So if we click on that, and it's actually opened it up, what we're actually doing when we type /delta is use an autocorrect function. And if you actually look at the list here, you can see a complete list of autocorrect functions. So starting here, you see alpha with the lowercase is the lowercase Greek alpha. Alpha with the uppercase, starting capital A, is an uppercase Greek alpha. And go down, there's a whole range of different symbols that we can actually insert into the equation editor. When you actually compare it with what's at the top, not everything is here. But the great thing is you can define your own symbols. So one of the ones that's not in here is actually the long arrow, and I'm just going to show you how to actually add that. So if we go down to here, I'll open up equation editor. So remember, Alt plus equals opens up the equation editor. If we go into the symbols, we can actually see we've got arrows here, and looking along the top, got various arrow symbols, and the one here is called long right arrow. So I'm just going to actually just open that one up. I'm now just going to copy that, and I'm now going to go into, click on the little arrow symbol in the corner there again, click on Math Autocorrect, and you can see the one I selected there, the long arrow, is now appeared. And now I can actually, if it's something that you're going to use a lot, you can actually put in a Math Autocorrect function, and I can just call that long arrow. We've now got an autocorrect function. We can now add that to the list, so click on add, and anytime we actually type /long arrow now, that will be automatically added into the equations. So if there's anything here that you find that you don't have already and use frequently, you can actually add it into the autocorrect in the list here. One that I've actually added myself is the equilibrium symbol, this one here, and the reason for that is that's very frequently used in chemistry, and it's not one that's already given in the equation editor, so I've just added /equil as being my abbreviation for the equilibrium symbol. And you can add any that you want into here just by doing a replace with and adding in a symbol from the selection in the equation editor. So I can now close that down, and if I delete that one there, so now if I put in /long arrow, press the space, you can see a long arrow is inserted here. So now we're going to look at one more equation. So if I go back to my worksheet, the equation that we're going to enter now is sine theta n is equal to n lambda over d. So going back into Microsoft Office, I'll just clear the previous part above. So Alt plus equals opens the equation editor. I'm now going to type sine followed by the / key, and now we want to enter a lowercase theta, so I just type theta, and you can see that's, as soon as I press the space bar, that's been rendered as sine theta. Now I want to enter sine theta subscript n, so underscore n gives me sine theta n, and that is equal to n lambda. So the Greek letter lambda can be entered just by typing lambda. It's a lowercase lambda that we want to enter. So as soon as I do that, I press the space bar, we've got n with the Greek letter lambda, and we want to divide that by d. And again, pressing the space bar renders that correctly. So that's how to enter sine theta subscript n is equal to n lambda over d. So it's very straightforward to do. I'm now going to show you how to enter the equation that you see here. What we've got is 21482 lead forms 21483 bismuth plus an electron antineutrino, and that's this strange V bar symbol that you see at the end with the subscript E. So to enter this equation is fairly straightforward using keyboard shortcuts, and we're also going to use the long arrow symbol that I defined earlier on. So if we go back into the equation editor, just minimize that, open up the equation editor, Alt plus equals. To get the superscript and subscript in front of lead, what I'm going to do is press the superscript symbol, which is the little hat above the 6, 214, press the subscript symbol, followed by 82, then a space, got to type PB. As soon as I press space again, you can see that's been rendered as 214 PB. I'm now going to use the long arrow, which I defined earlier. So what we need to now do is put in 21483 bismuth. So now I need to enter superscript 214 subscript 83 space bismuth plus an electron, so that's plus E superscript minus, plus an electron antineutrino. So to enter this symbol, to get the V with a bar over the top, I just have to type a V, then the backs, so the forward slash bar gives us V bar, and then subscript E, so underscore E gives us our final equation. So we've now got the equation 21482 lead forms 21483 bismuth plus an electron and an electron antineutrino. As you can see, the equation editor is a great way of entering chemical equations. You can just do everything from the keyboard once you get used to the commands for superscript and subscript. The equations look great when they've been produced in the equation editor, and it's much more straightforward to do it this way than to do it many of the other ways. So you'll be meeting chemical equations once you get to book 4, and this particular equation you'll meet in book 7. Anyway, so thank you for your attention, and I hope you enjoy using the equation editor.